welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Sean. I'm back for another video. In this video today I'm going to be sharing with you guys an update to a letter that was sent to me from one of you. It's an updated strawberry letter from January 2016. She is back to update us on what's been going on, and there's a bit more to the story now, so we're going to jump into all of that in just a minute. But in case you're brand new to my channel, I upload fashion related video, lifestyle related videos, and also advice and relationship content like this one. So if that's the kind of thing that you're into, go ahead and subscribe, become part of the notification gang by clicking that little bell. That way you'll always know every single time I upload a video. I'm also the author of 3 books. The first one's called The Dating Game, How to Find Yourself While Looking for Mr. Right. My second book, Breaking the Man Code, The Key to Unlocking His Heart. And my third book, Getting Unstuck, How to Create the Life You've Always Wanted to Live. They'll all be linked below. They're available on Amazon, Kindle, BarnesandNoble.com. And if you want to work with me as your personal life and dating coach, be sure to send me an email to itscoachshawn@gmail.com. That's itscoachshawn, SHAWN @gmail.com. So like I said, the original letter was sent to me years ago. I'll be sure to put a floating eye on here. Be sure to check out the original video because I'm not going to do too much of a recap, but just to give you guys an idea, the original letter was called Why Did I Marry Him? He Won't Even Shower. Girl, it was a mess. A hot, sticky, funky mess, okay? So if you haven't watched that video, check that out. I'm gonna put a couple of excerpts right here though. But you compounded a situation and made it a little bit worse by deciding to go ahead and marry him without any evidence of change. And I always say this, but this is one of the occasions when it's truly, truly poignant to say, who you date is who you marry. You married a man who didn't believe in showering. His hygiene was an issue before. You married a man who was horrible with money, who didn't know how to pay bills, who didn't know how to save. So when you married him, he didn't have to change. When you marry a man without him having to change, he thinks he doesn't have to. He got you now. He knows that you feel like you're stuck now. I can understand why you say the intimacy is dry and boring. It would be dry and boring if the brother don't shower every day. And he works outside in the hot sun. So as you guys can see, the original letter was crazy, but she's actually back with an update, so let's jump right into that. Without any further ado, let's go get him. 3 years ago, I wrote about my hubby that wouldn't shower, so consider this my follow-up. We separated 3 years ago, and it was a hot mess. The week we separated, I was in a car accident, and my car was totaled. He moved his stuff out, and my brothers took what they could of mine, and everything else went in the trash since I didn't have time to get a truck or storage unit. We developed a schedule for our daughter that didn't require us to see/speak to one another. Since then, I've improved my credit, got my own place, a car for me and my kids, and life was great. His petty moments. We began to talk here and there, but when I didn't meet his expectations, like keeping the conversation/communication going, he would get short with me and petty. Example number 1. When I asked him to help in parenting my son, who's a teenager, he said our relationship seemed rocky and that's something that my son and I need to work on. Example number 2. I asked him could he put my son on his insurance because he had ortho care, which was fine until the explanation of benefits came. He dropped my son from the insurance because he thought it was a bill. Needless to say, I had to pay for his braces out of pocket ASAP. Example number 3. When Christmas rolled around, he said that sharing the holidays seemed fake and decided we should alternate. I didn't argue, I just agreed. As the holidays came closer, he wanted to be friendly and exchange gifts. I agreed again. I didn't know what to get him, so I kept it simple. On Christmas Eve, I let my kids open their gift with me, and then I took my daughter to her father. Once there, he asked could we stay, watch a movie. He asked if we could wear matching pajamas. We didn't stay, but we did watch the movie and I gave him his pajamas. These are the moments I find it hard to forgive him for and move forward, fast forward. I told him we could try living together again to see how it works out. Honestly, I feel like my space is being invaded. With us living together, we're just coexisting. It doesn't feel like a relationship. He told his friends that we're working things out, and I'm like, this is just a trial run. He still wants more kids and I want a dog. I just want to take things way slow, like date for years, like mature adults, and develop a true friendship. See where things go from there. I see a change in him as far as helping with the kids, and I know he wants to handle the finances together. Oh, and he showers all the time. Hygiene is up 90 points. But now that I'm older, I'm way more verbal, and I'm comfortable being alone. I like the way my life is set up, and I don't need his help with the kids or the bills. I dated a guy for a year and a half casually, and although it was casual, it was amazing. We literally went everywhere. Day trips, sporting events, and dinner always at a bougie restaurant. I never had to drive, had to pay. I'm not obligated to speak or see him every day. We just kind of let it flow, and that works for us. I know that it will never be more than that, and I think I'm okay with that. My question, what do I do? Go with my daughter's father and play family, hope for the best, or continue to experience life with Mr. Casual? So there's a whole lot here. I think originally when you wrote me, you may have been in a position where you felt like you needed him. Your son was acting out, you were afraid to break up the family, but once you guys separated for 3 years, you got used to it. And what happened in that time was you realized how strong you were. That you didn't need him to survive, that you didn't need him to be a good parent or to make sure that your kids were well provided for and taken care of. And you got comfortable. And now that he's back, trying to be back in your life, you realize that you don't need him, at least not in the way that you thought that you originally did when you wrote me. There are some women who don't want to be married. They like their own space. They like living on their own terms, things how they want it. They don't mind the company of a man every now and then when they want male companionship, nothing in a sexual way, but just like to go to dinner and movies and sporting events, like what you talked about. But I just feel like you don't have to feel pressured to choose either one of them. I also feel like your husband is totally wrong in this situation, because I feel like he's doing the same thing now as he did before. Unless you're a part of the equation, he doesn't want to step up and be a part of the kid's life. It always has to be on his terms, either all of us or none of us. But that's not your responsibility. It's not on you to be in this relationship just so that your kids can have a father. But I feel like I'm not sure why exactly that you married him. It doesn't seem like you've ever really was into him. Beyond the showering situation, beyond the money situation, it never sounded like it was love. You've never mentioned love, not in the first letter and not in this one. But I have to be real here and be honest. You asked your husband to change certain things, and from the way that you describe him in this letter, he has changed. You said his hygiene has stepped up 90%. He's there. He's more interactive with the kids. He's doing everything that you asked him to do. I think that's not the problem. The real problem is you don't want him. Especially now that you dated the other guy for 1.5 years and you see how the other half lives, you're like, what? You feel like now that you've seen what's out there that you were settling for your husband. Because you can find somebody who can wine and dine you and take you out and give you your space and all of that. Now that you've gotten a taste of the single life, I think that's what you want. Because your husband has done everything that you asked him to do. So you have to realize it's not about him, it's about you. And that's okay. But be real with it and be real with yourself. It doesn't sound like your husband is a bad guy. Like the stuff that you tried to mention, that his petty moments weren't even that huge. They aren't deal breakers. It's just that you don't want to be with him, but be real about that. I feel like you're trying to give yourself an excuse to do something that you already want to do. You never sound like you wanted to be in this relationship. You guys married each other, but it never felt like an intoxicating romance. It always felt very transactional, and it still does. And the older you get, the more you realize that you don't really want that. I think that the time that you guys spent separated, it changed you. It changed him too. It made him really want his family. He's trying everything that he can. He's done everything that you told him to do. You gave him a checklist of things to change, and he's checked off each one. But the truth is, you want way more than what's on that list. Sometimes a person's best effort is still not enough. He's done what you asked him to do. He's stepped up and been more in the children's life and wants to do more family things and finally taking his hygiene and making it a priority. He's done. But now that you've kind of taken the time to step back from him, you realize that those are basic things and that you weren't asking for enough. I feel like now you want to renegotiate, because now that you've seen the whining and the dining and not having to pay and not having to drive and all that, you're like, I want all that. It's like a man who's cheated on every single girl he's ever had, every single girlfriend. He's cheated. He gets with this one girl and he's like, I'm not even cheating on you. And he thinks that that's supposed to be celebrated. He thinks that's a big deal because it's a big deal for him, but it's not for you because that's a basic requirement. So he's like, I'm showering and taking care of the kids. And you're like, that is basic. That you're doing basic requirements. You want him to go above and beyond like the other guy. I don't think you should choose A or choose B. I think you should take the time to realize what you want, be honest with your husband, and tell him what you really want. Tell him that it's not enough, because it's not. In the time that you've been separated, you found your voice. Like you said, I'm a lot more verbal now that I'm older. I stand up for myself now. I like my own space. Like, you've changed, you've grown, you matured. You realize what you want and what you don't want. And I feel like in that changing, you realize that he wasn't the one for you. I don't think he ever really was. It never sounded like bells and whistles. It never felt like you guys married each other for love. It always felt transactional, and it still does. The thing that bothers me the most about this relationship is that your man is an all or nothing kind of guy. And that's not fair when you have children. It can't just be like, either we gonna all be together or I'm forgetting you and the child. Like, it's not on you to stay in a relationship that you don't want to be in just because that's the only way for her father to be in her life. I definitely recommend that you pray and ask God to give you wisdom, knowledge, understanding about what's best for you and your children. But ultimately, that's going to be your decision that you're going to have to make. But be real about it. Be honest with yourself and with him. You outgrew him. You're just pretending for the sake of the children. He's pretending just as much as you are, but you're both pretending. You're both faking. There is no love here. He wants you to wear the pajamas and have the movie and the popcorn. You both are so determined to give these kids a certain picture-perfect childhood that you both are acting. You guys don't even really seem like you love each other when the kids aren't around. And the basic things that you were asking for him are not enough for you anymore. You outgrew that guy. And he doesn't seem like he wants to change. He wants to give you the things on your old list that's 3 years old. And you're like, oh no, now I like to be wined and dined. Now I like a guy who drives and pays for things. Now I like my space. You just changed. I feel like you're trying to make excuses and give yourself excuses for doing what you already want to do. You never really wanted him. You didn't sound like you wanted him in the first letter, and you don't sound like you want him now. You want a father for your child, but you don't want him. You like your freedom. You like being single, and that's okay. The time that you guys were separated, it sounded like you were thriving. You got your credit together, got your place, got your car, got your own space, got a little man that you hang out with for just companionship only. In my opinion, it sounds like you outgrew him. In the time that you guys were separated, you realized that you were a lot stronger than you ever thought you were. You realized that you could make it on your own. Before, that's one of the reasons why you stayed, because you didn't think you could do it. But now you realize that you can. Like you said, I don't need him for the bills or to be with the kids. You don't need him, period. But I don't think you ever did. You didn't need him, and I'm not even sure you wanted him. But be real about that. It just makes sense on paper. You guys take beautiful pictures together. You guys are both willing to do whatever you have to do to make the family look good. But I don't think either one of you are happy. You gave him another chance for the sake of the children, but you liked your freedom. You missed your old life. You missed your old single separated life. And you sitting here with a pen and a pad writing down everything he does wrong so you can be like, see, this is why. See, this is why. See, this is why. No, it's not. You don't want him. It don't sound like you ever did. You didn't sound like you were into him 4 years ago, and it's like you're into him now. You're going through the motions like you've always done. And if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to keep getting what you've always gotten. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I love you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to thumbs up if you did. I'd love to hear your 2 cents on this. Should she stay? Should she go? Man A, man B? Answer all those questions below in the comment section. And if you want to hear more of my thoughts on life and love, consider purchasing one of my books. The first one's called The Dating Game: How to Find Yourself While Looking for Mr. Right. My second book, Breaking the Man Code: The Key to Unlocking His Heart. And my third book, Getting Unstuck: How to Create the Life You've Always Wanted to Live. They're all available on Amazon, Kindle, BarnesandNoble.com. And if you want to work with me as your personal life and dating coach, be sure to send me an email to itscoachshawn@gmail.com. That's itscoachshawn, SHAWN @gmail.com. And if you enjoyed this video, you will love my last one. I'll be sure to link it right here so you guys can check that out. And be sure to subscribe right here. Till next time, later divas and dudes. Deuces, honey.